Alright, this is my 2003 WRX, and I'm going to be putting these Blaubuy tail lights on them. And I might need to make some modifications because these have this little spot right here that this 2003 WRX bumper doesn't have. So we might have to do some modifications to the bumper, but let's get it started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to want to do is pull back this liner to access the bolts. Alright, after you get this pulled back, it looks like there's an electrical clip that we have to undo and 4 8mm nuts. So you can just get a medium-sized socket and that'll work. To get this clip off, we could just use a flathead to pry it down on that, and then we should be able to pull it off. This 8mm socket doesn't seem to be grabbing too well, so I'm going to use this longer 8mm socket. Alright, so the new tail light, the one that I got came with the nuts already on the bolts, but if not, then you can just reuse the same ones. It looks like the clip's exactly the same, so that shouldn't be an issue either. The only issue is, like I said, this little indentation right here. So I'm gonna see how it looks if I squeeze it on there, because some people just squeeze on the new tail light with that original bumper, and I'm gonna just see how it looks, see if I like it. If not, I'll notch it out with the Dremel or something. Alright, so as I was putting it in, it slides in perfectly. I don't have any issues with it fitting until right here. So what I'll do is I'll get like a pencil or something, and I'll kind of just mark where I need to cut it, and I'll use a Dremel tool, and I'll slowly kind of notch it out just so it can fit properly. Alright, so I have this Dremel tool. I haven't used it before, but it's made by Milwaukee, and I bought these attachments, Dremel brand. I just bought it for this job specifically. So what I'm gonna do is right here on the bumper, I can physically see where it's hitting because of the shape. So I had to grab a marker because the pencil didn't mark anything. So let's just mark it. I'm gonna use this grinding wheel. If this grinding one doesn't work, I'll use one of the sanding ones, but what the objective is to slowly notch it down and put the tail light in, because I don't want to do it too much. So I'm going to slowly notch it down and test fit it, and then I'll keep notching it down and test fit it again until it fits properly. Alright, so one thing I'm noticing is that this plastic, it gets melted pretty fast with that little Dremel tool, so just be careful without burning yourself. But let's test fit it and see, do I need to go past here, or will that little notch fit in there? And do we need to take it down more? So let's test fit it and see what happens. Alright, so I tried the first time, it didn't quite fit. It looks like I'm gonna have to notch it out at least to my marks. So let's try it again. Alright, so after test fitting it, I got it down to where my mark was, but I might have to notch this back a little bit just to get the light to get pushed in a little bit more, so I'm gonna do that right now. This is what it looks like now. I think I might have went a little bit too much, but I should be able to put some touch-up paint or something to fix that, but it fits pretty good now. This is specifically platinum silver metallic touch-up paint for my color. Alright, so the touch-up paint, I just put it on the front, and it's really just to get rid of any blackness that we see. So it looks, I mean, I try to smooth out that circle as best I could, and just put some paint. I'll wait for it to dry, and then we can put the taillight back on and see how it looks. Alright, so here's the two side by side. I personally, I'm fine with the way it came out, the way we had to cut the bumper, but if you're kind of skeptical about it, or if you want it to be perfect, I would just recommend getting a 2004 bumper. The reason why I say a 2004 bumper is because some of the, actually the 2005 STIs, they have this little like arch on top of the rear fender, and it won't match the bumper, so it would have to be a 2004 STI bumper in order to match the taillights. But once again, here are the two side by side, the new set, and here's the old set. I'll probably eventually switch them out to LEDs just to make them brighter and cleaner. But so here's my second mark on the right taillight, and just to give you an example, I'm going to kind of show you what I'm doing. So I'm using the grinding wheel on this a little Milwaukee Dremel that I have, and I'm going to show you how I'm notching it. And you just take it down to the mark, or you can come right above it, because I'm noticing on the other one that I don't think I necessarily had to go all the way down to my mark, but I was able to clean it up a little bit, so I'm fine with it. But if anything, you can stop it a little bit further, and it's going to be spitting out all this plastic. So if you want to put a towel or something, you can. I personally don't care, I'll just wipe it off. But you just take it down to this line, and then once you get it a little bit close, you might want to switch it off to a sander and kind of just try to make it as clean as you can, because if you make it on the other one, it kind of came out a little mountainy, it looked like a little mountain range. So try to clean it up as best you can, and then throw some paint on it, some, what is it called, touch-up paint. Alright, I can't stress this enough, but just try not to go past your Sharpie mark, because then your taillights will look really bad. So stop it a little bit before and just kind of sand it down and make sure it looks really clean. You definitely don't want it to go past that Sharpie mark. So now we can do a little bit, I'll show you how I'm putting the touch-up paint, and then you can even use a little heat gun to kind of speed up the process. Just make sure that when you're using the heat gun to keep it like constantly moving, because if you keep it still in one spot, you're gonna melt this paint away. So you want to keep it a good distance, and all you're trying to do is just to get it to dry faster. I don't think you necessarily have to do this, but I'm trying to make it look as good as possible. Definitely anything that's black on the outer edges, you want to paint that. Alright, so here's the final product. One little tip I can give you is just be careful under here. You might want to keep the cut angled a little bit, because that's how the other bumper is, and I kind of messed it up, but me personally, I don't really mind. I think it looks perfectly fine. Let me just do another little walk around. Once again, these are 2005 taillights from a Blabai STI. I added the JDM side markers, blinkers, and hazards. I had to cut a hole through the fender and install those, and I also have the JDM projectors. Those are authentic JDM projector headlights straight from Japan. But we'll do a final test and we'll see how it looks. And also, by the way, I also have a rear F1 style brake light with the flasher mod on it, so you'll be able to see that too in this little test. Guys, if you like this video, please subscribe, leave comments. I can make some more bug eye videos. I just want to know if you guys want to see my videos. Leave a comment, and alright, I'm out.